What's up, everyone? This is The Raw Truth, and it is Monday, June 1st. You know, this is my first time doing a podcast, and I decided to come up out here and do a little podcast as I've been talking to people in the streets. I have been talking to people on YouTube. That's a good social media right there. And have spoken to the City and Media Network. You can look him up on YouTube. And we have plenty of discussions. And the main thing that I keep hearing is we need men to stand up and be men. We need men to stand up to be men. We need men to stand up to be men. I'm going to give you my opinion on why I think that is garbage. Why I do not believe at all that we need men to stand up and be men. Now, in some cases, yes, but we have a problem here. And the problem is when I hear men, we need men to stand up and be men, I get very upset. Why do I get upset? Take a journey with me for a second. Brothers, how many times have you been in these so-called churches? And I call them so-called churches because if they were churches and all about God, we wouldn't have the problems that we have in our community, would we? But how many times have you been in these so-called churches and we hear the pastor always talking about men standing up and be men after he give a fiery, as y'all call it, exhortation. Fiery preacher. Oh, the pastor brought the word. And we need men to stand up and be men. And what do you see? We see some men standing up to be men. They're going to the altar. They're going to dedicate their lives to be men. We're seeing women supporting the men, telling men, yes, we need you men to stand up to be men. But you look in the pews and what do you see? You see a group of men who didn't want to stand up to be men. You see a group of men who didn't want to even be a man, who didn't give a damn about being a man. He didn't want to stand up and be man. Did he know something that we don't know? Well, I believe that he did. What did he know? I'll explain. When we hear men to stand up and be men, those same men who didn't stand up to be men, what happened? Those were the same men who were getting women pregnant. Those were the same men who were getting with those same women who cheered you on for standing up and being a man. Are we seeing the problem here? Let's go deeper. In Tennessee, there was three guys who slept with 46 women and produced 78 children. We had a guy in Baltimore, Maryland, who was in prison. By him being in prison, he slept with 13 black women security guard and produced four children. So it seemed like to me that black women don't want men to stand up to be men. I mean, think about it, black woman. If you're listening, just think about it. Whenever a man stand up to be men and you reject that man, and that same man that you reject sees you with a man that has not stood up, or a man who is not a man at all, how do you think he feels? See, nobody cares about real men. Nobody cares about men standing up and being men. The only thing they care about is how black women feel. And if you say anything about black women, you get in trouble for it. Why? See, part of being a man standing up is you get the woman in order. How is it that we can sit up there to tell women, look, go natural. Look, don't follow the media. Look, leave your hair alone. Don't bleach your skin. Feel good about yourself. But we're hating. Meanwhile, black woman is putting leave press on nails, putting blonde hair in their head, trying to bleach their skin, but yet they're not called self haters like that. Let's go another journey. I mean, just look at it. I mean, fellas, if I'm wrong, correct me. Dealt with the church. I mean, if you look at the church itself, it's a force. It's laughable. That woman is being told she's a daughter of God, and God loves her so much. Meanwhile, she had three, four kids by two or three different baby fathers. So she's a whore. But yet, a man, if he goes out there and do that, you need to stop being a whoremonger and God's going to destroy you and God's going to kill you and it's time for you to stand up and be a man. No. So what now the man is looking around and saying to themselves, is it really an incentive to standing up to being a man? After he sees in the churches so many times black women accepting men who are no good. See it all the time, you know. It's so sad in these churches. You see it all the time. Men who are going to church faithfully, trying to make a difference in their lives, just to see a sister bring a man off the street who really don't care about the Bible. Nobody really cares how black men feel. That's why whenever I hear we need men to stand up to be men, I believe, and this is my opinion, and I'm not saying all black women, I hate when people talk is absolute. This is my opinion. I believe the sisters are using that as a process of elimination. I'll explain. Because as soon as they say we need men to stand up and be men, and you stood up, you automatically is not accepted in their life because you're going to represent order. Sisters don't like orders, they like giving orders. Am I wrong? Let me know. Hey, I told this is the raw truth right here. I'm not going to pull no punches. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you how it is and how I see it. And why, whenever I hear men stand up and be men, I just want to throw up all over the place because I know it's garbage. Stop with that. We need men to stand up and be men. When every time I look around, who's procreating with black women? Oh, remember those guys you saying nobody want to see you with your pants hanging off your ass? Those are the same guys. How are they getting all these skilled children? Black women, if you listening, my sisters, you listening? How is it that they are easily getting inside of you when a man can't even get inside your arms? I'm not talking about sex. People like to talk about sex this and sex that and sex that. Even though black women, you are having sex, only 20-25% of black men are having sex with over 80% of black women. But that is for another topic because I just exposed to you why we have a whole lot of homes that are fatherless because black women, you're sleeping with the same guy. Told you in Tennessee. In Tennessee. Three guys, 46 women, 78 children. 46 houses fatherless. Now we're starting to see something here. A guy in Florida, a felon, lived in his mother's basement, was a no good man. How did he manage to sleep with 17 women and produce 18 children? That's another 17 homes fatherless. So whenever we hear 74% of homes are fatherless, then why are they fatherless? Do we have a crisis of men not taking care of their kids? No. I referenced a book, The Myth of the Missing Black Father. Uh-oh. Get that book. Google that book. You will see that it was I believe her name was Alberta and Mr. Green. They all did research on it. They did research on the topic and they looked at it and say, look, it's a myth. Y'all have been brought into the propaganda that black men don't take care of their children. After Barack Obama sat up there and lied his behind off in a church and said that the problem is black fathers ain't taking care of their kids, but yet Cornell University, Carnegie Mellon, and all these schools and institutions and universities and stuff who did their own research and found out the black man actually comes in number one in taking care of his kids. But the problem is going back to the Tennessee incident, the Florida incident. One man cannot take care of 15 children in 14 different homes. Three guys cannot look oversee 46 homes with 78 children. They barely knew the names of their own children, so how in the hell can they raise them? And if black women would have kept their damn legs closed and start rejecting them and then start accepting the nice guys, majority of the problems that we have in our community would not be here in the first place. But we hear we need men to stand up to be men. Well, why don't you accept them, sisters? How about that? Why don't you tell the Pookies and Ray Rays and the Beanies no, no? I want John. I want Bill. I want that guy who's studying to get somewhere. But no, because nobody cares about black man's feeling. Excuse me, got a little cold there. I mean, look at going to school. Check out the kid going to school. In school, sisters, you were promiscuous in schools. A lot of y'all lose your virginity at 14, 15 years old. And while these guys being class clowns and stuff like that, having all kind of sex, look at that little child sitting in there with his nose in his book, studying like crazy, and get tortured. That's why I get all the pussy and you don't. So wait a minute, you're bragging about getting all this sex, right? No good men? I'm talking to you. You're bragging about getting all this sex, but yet you're coming down and torturing and tormenting that child. So no wonder why we having all these. How can you say that? Want to be thugs? Why do they want to be thugs? Because wannabe thugs represent men who are giving up of being men. They either men going their own way, MGTOW, or men turning to wannabe thugs just to finally get love. Now you call him a weak man. You know what weak is? Weak is when you choose to open up your legs, black woman, and procreate with a man who was no good. That is weak. You know what weak is? When you have to brag about having sex with different women to validate you. Because a real man is not validated by sex, is not validated by a woman. A real man is validated by himself. A real man is validated on the wisdom that he knows and in his self confidence. That's why a lot of you no good men out there love to torture these guys who are being men because you have some insecurities yourself and a black woman knows it. That's why you're accepted. You're not accepted because you're good looking. You're not accepted because you're the man. You're accepted because you have some insecurity of yourselves because you're just like a female, want to buy all these doggone clothes and expensive items and stuff like that to feel good about yourself. That's what females do. So you match right along with her. I'm gonna end this right here. I want your feedback. Again, I am the raw truth. I want your feedback, brothers, sisters. I want your feedback as well. You hate mail? Call me a coon, Uncle Ruckus and Uncle Tom, and I'm gonna do a podcast later on about that. Probably 4 or 5 videos, but I want to keep with this topic. But the next topic that's going to come up and is very very dear to me, and this going to be a piggyback on this commentary that I'm doing right now, and it is called "The Purpose of Man and the Purpose of Woman." And just to sum it all up in a nutshell, we claim to love God. Black woman, you claim to love God so much. Some brothers, you claim to love God. In order to love God, you got to know your purpose so you can be about His business. So I'm going to discuss in the next commentary on the purpose of man and the purpose of woman. And I will see, black woman, if you really love God. So till then, this is the raw truth. And this is Monday, June 1st. And that's it.